Hey Oakland Scholars, this is Mrs. Bevel-Smith, and I am sharing my New Book Thursday video with you. And instead of seeing me today, you're seeing my iPad screen with some books that I wanted to share with you. When we got to the end of 2021, I decided to pick my favorite books I had read during the 2021 year, so from January 2021 to December 2021. And I had read almost 200 books during the course of the year, but some of the books were not my favorites, or they were for younger kids or for adults. And so I really looked hard at the books I'd read for middle schoolers, and these are the books that I felt like were my favorite from last year. So in no particular order is 365 Days to Alaska, the story of a girl who loves living in Alaska even though hunting for bears and dealing with everything in the Alaskan wilderness where she lives may seem very odd to everyone else. It's what she's always known. And when her parents split up and she has to move to Connecticut to live in a suburb with her grandmother, it is very, very hard for her. So that is a story that I would recommend to many. The book Allies here, real talk about showing up, screwing up, and trying again, has a lot of short stories written by different people that deal with different topics about how to be an ally to all kinds of different people in different situations. If somebody is struggling to open up the door and they are physically challenged in a way that is different than maybe someone who's physically able, just different ways of handling those situations and being a good person to everyone as often as possible. These all have a little description as well, so you can read that. When You Know What I Know and Starfish are both verse novels, meaning they do not have as many words on the page, and both deal with really tough topics. I had to put them down at times because they were tough, but I think they were really well written, and I'm really glad we have them in part of our collection here in the library and have them available for students to check out. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is a prequel to the Hunger Games series. You learn about Snow, President Snow, as he's a kid, when he was a kid, and he was very different than the President Snow you know if you've watched the Hunger Game movies or read the books. So I encourage you, if you are a Hunger Game fan, to check out The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. A Chance to Fly was recommended to me by a student, and it's a lovely story about being able to dance no matter what your circumstances and never giving up your dreams. Punching the Air is a story that was really challenging because it's a story of what happens if you throw a punch and it changes your whole world. And maybe you just were angry, and in the moment that punch seemed like no big deal, and it impacts your whole world. So it's just a really amazing, sad story. Five Total Strangers is a book that was hard to put down. It's very intense. At one time, all of the characters in this story I thought were the bad guy. So it kept me guessing, trying to figure out who was the person not to trust, who was the person that was lying, were they all lying? But on the cover it says she never should have accepted that ride, and I have to agree, taking a ride from a stranger is not a good idea, especially in the middle of a blizzard. And so many things happen in this book. It's very action-packed and mysterious. Amari and the Night Brothers. I fell in love with Amari and her story of never giving up hope for finding her brother. Her big brother was her hero. He looked out for her. He took care of her. He was amazing, and then he just disappeared. And Amari didn't believe what the grown-ups said, that he just, maybe got involved in drugs, maybe something happened. No, that was not her big brother. And so one day when Amari gets this mysterious message to join this secret academy that her brother had been a part of, she knows that this is the way that she's going to find out answers about her brother. So super magical, fantasy, mysterious, great book. The Life of Frederick Douglass is a graphic nonfiction. Frederick Douglass was an amazing man. I loved reading more about his story, learning how he defied the odds over and over again. He was in slavery and was not expected to learn to read. And not only did he learn to read, but he learned to write and to give amazing speeches and to help change the world. American Royals is the first book in a series that if you love drama, if you love to know who's dating who, you want all the gossip, you want all the scoop, American Royals is a great choice for you. Fighting Words is an award book that is just tough. It's a really tough story. That's a really good story about Della and her older sister and what happens when their mom went to prison. And then they have to get away. So these are the 12 that I picked as my top reads for this year. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll come and check out some of these books. If they're not available in our library, remember you have options in Sora to check them out from Sora. So these are all great options for you. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.